Dean Gilligan, the convocation has gathered.
Well, good morning, everyone. Please be seated. Well, good morning. My name is Tom Gilligan, and I'm Dean of the McCombs School of Business. It's my honor and pleasure to welcome our fall 2012 graduating class, their families and friends to this commencement ceremony. This is a momentous day in the lives of our graduates. When you first arrived at UT, you came with hopes of earning a first-rate business education and launching a bright future. We on the faculty and staff of the McCombs School of Business hope that you would be dedicated students, that you would display noble characteristics of curiosity, compassion, and leadership, that you would demonstrate initiative and an entrepreneurial spirit, and that you would maintain the highest ethical standards. I am pleased to say that you have exceeded our expectations in every way. Congratulations. I'm also very delighted to say that we are proud for you to carry the reputation of the McCombs School of Business and the University of Texas into the world. A graduation ceremony is called a commencement for a reason. These faculty representatives, special guests, and I are delighted to celebrate with you as you prepare to begin the next phase of your life. I would like to introduce our commencement marshals now. Dr. Douglas DeVidal, a lecturer in the Department of Accounting. Dr. Linda Golden, a professor in the Department of Marketing. This year's student speaker is Crystal Braley. We can applaud. Crystal is graduating from the McCombs School of Business with a degree in management with a concentration in consulting and change. She served on the College Tuition and Budget Committee and has volunteered her time to provide free tax preparation services for those in need through Travis County Foundation Communities. She also contributes her name and energies through several other nonprofit organizations such as Collins Hope and Austin Smiles. Here to deliver a message on behalf of the graduating class is Crystal Braley.
Thank you, Dean Gilligan. Well, good morning. Thank you all for allowing me the opportunity to share my story and the things learned throughout my academic journey. As today's graduation drew nearer, my father told me a story of when I was in elementary school. One day, I had come home in tears. My father, thinking something terrible had happened, soon found out that the reason that I was hysterical was because of a grade. Yes, a grade. I had, for the first time, received a B on an assignment. No, I'm sure every parent here has experienced a similar situation, as those are the joys of raising such driven and bright students you all have here today. But why do I tell you this story? It got me thinking about what had motivated me. Back then, I was encompassed by the grade. It was easy to make me happy. Just give me an A, and I would be fine. But at the age of 14, I got my first job, and soon I was driven towards money. After high school, I soon found myself having 3 jobs, which only reaffirmed how important money was to me. This was the trend until my second year of college, when I was blessed with a beautiful baby boy, Bryce. As people and statistics told me that I would not be able to get a degree, my inspiration once again changed, but this time it included my son. He was the reason I got out of bed every single morning, even if I only had 4 hours of sleep. It was true love. But there was a point, however, when what I loved went against my educational goals. Many times I thought to myself, why? If I love my son so much and I want the best for him, am I putting us through this? Why am I stressing over racking up thousands in student loans and credit card debt, cramming us into a less than comfortable 1-bedroom apartment, or wondering if I would even have someone to watch my son for the following day's lectures? Many nights, I considered just entering the workforce full-time to make a more comfortable life for my son. It wasn't until my second year at UT that my inspiration changed one last time, and this time for the better. It came from you. All of you were and still are inspirational to me. This room is filled with diverse stories and experiences, like the student returning after many years in the workforce, or the student who traveled across the globe, leaving loved ones behind to attend. I consider myself extremely lucky to have had peers that would allow group meetings to be at my house at night so my son could sleep. I even had a friend and a peer one semester every Tuesday and Thursday drive me to and from school so I could avoid the 2-hour bus ride to campus. This forced me to have no choice but to try and live up to the high standards that were present in all of you. You should all be so proud of what you have accomplished. So I want to leave you with 2 goals today. First, have your own motivation. They can change and morph, but always have one. Tell yourself every morning what you aspire to be, as this will have you striving to grow as a person and make the world a better place. Secondly, remember that every day offers you the opportunity to be inspirational to others. You may never know whose life you may change based on your actions, just as you have changed mine. Thank you for making a difference, and congratulations. And hook 'em horns.
Thank you, Crystal. Now it's my pleasure to introduce this morning's faculty speaker. Good thing he's doing it, not me. Dr. Michael Hasler. Dr. Hasler teaches undergraduate and graduate courses on operations management and procurement in the Department of Information Risk and Operations Management. Before beginning his academic career, Dr. Hasler had a 25-year career in industry, holding executive positions in operations, supply chain management, and general management at companies such as General Motors, Nissan, and Applied Materials. Dr. Hasler has a Bachelor of Mechanical Engineering degree from Kettering University, master's degrees in Business and Systems Engineering from the University of Virginia, and a PhD from Texas A&M University. In 2012, Dr. Hasler was awarded the prestigious International Wickham Skinner Award for Innovation in Teaching by the Production Operations Management Society. This award was given in recognition of his groundbreaking work designing and leading a program for our BBA students that follows Target's retail supply chain from end to end. Additionally, Dr. Hasler received the McCombs CBA Foundation Award for Teaching Innovation in 2012. He was also recently named Program Director for the school's new Master of Science program and Business Analytics. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Michael Hasler.
Thank you, Dean Gilligan. Parents, friends, guests, and particularly you, honored graduates, welcome and thank you for the particularly special privilege of addressing you today on your graduation day. This process began for me about a month ago when I received a cryptic email from Dean Allert in the undergraduate program office. All it said was, "Mike, I need to speak with you about an important issue. May I stop by?" The first thing that went through my head was, oh no, they found out, I'm in trouble. Here I am, 55 years old, and I'm still scared of being called into the principal's office. And Arthur, no, I'm not going to tell you what it was that I thought you had discovered. So eventually, I learned of this opportunity to speak, and when I got home that night, I was pretty excited about it. I shared it with my wife and daughter, and virtually in unison, they said, "That's great, congratulations." But why did they choose you? You see, my family doesn't think of me as a faculty member teaching supply chain concepts at McCombs. My kids think of me as the dad who moved band instruments around every Friday night for marching band while they were in high school, or the guy who's really good at squeezing 3 rooms of furniture into a 2-room Penske truck, or helping them carry their mattresses up to their 3rd-floor apartment in Boston. My dad thinks of me as someone he knows he can beat at bowling when I pick him up to go to the bowling alley every few weeks or so for an outing. And my wife, bless her heart, thinks of me as the tall guy who's nice to have around at Thanksgiving for getting the good dishes down from the top shelf of the cabinet. or more importantly, is great to have around when the dogs need to go out in the middle of the night. You see, they love me for all those little things that I bring to the party that don't have anything to do with being a professor at McCombs. And for those myriad of little things, I matter. And that's what I hope for you, to live a life that matters. My colleagues and I have spent the last few years with you working on making sure you have the tools, skills, and hopefully the judgment to matter in the workplace. Based on the achievements of the classes that have come before you, I think we have a pretty high confidence level that you're well prepared. In this crowd are future VPs, CFOs, chief operating officers, maybe even a CEO or two, but you've heard that all before, because hearing that is part of being at McCombs. The work is hard, the students are outstanding, and the expectations for your achievements in the future are really high. So when it comes to the question of whether or not you will matter at work, the answer is pretty clearly yes, you will. I'd like to take this just a step further, though, and have you think for a moment about what it means to matter. You see, the things that will truly define who you are and how you are perceived will only marginally be associated with your understanding of cost of capital, process flow charts, market segmentation, or even amazingly, supply chain. You are expected to know these things as a minimum requirement for being allowed in the game. The things that will differentiate you have more to do with how you treat people. This doesn't mean being soft or being a pushover, but rather giving everyone with whom you interact the distinct impression that they are the most important person in the room. The thing is, you may never know how those small things matter to someone else on a particular day, so having a conscious focus on the little things is important. And this can really be translated into one word, and that's remember. From a McCombs perspective, we want you to remember by supporting the school. Obviously, we look forward to your future financial success and the donations you will make to McCombs from your well-earned wealth. But just as important, and maybe even more so, is your time. Returning to speak in class, sponsoring a practicum project, helping career services with mock interviews, and hiring future graduates. These are all great ways to remember your time at McCombs. Remembering means a variety of other things as well, though. Just a few examples. Remember to say good morning to everyone by name every day. That means the receptionist at your office, the departmental admin, the security guard at your warehouse facility, the janitor who empties your trash can, as well as your peers, your manager, your director, or VP. This isn't networking. This is showing others that you value them, that they matter. Remember to thank people for what they do, particularly when it is above and beyond. And remember to copy their bosses on the email. Remember to write notes, handwritten, short, and sincere. A note saying, congrats on your new job, or you were a great help on this project, or you are in my thoughts and prayers, will mean more than you can possibly imagine to someone going through a tough time. You see the theme here? It's a series of small gestures that add up to a huge value. The thing is, you never really know when one of those small things is going to be important to someone else. One of our esteemed colleagues on the faculty here at McCombs, Dr. John Daly, has a saying that you've probably seen on the video screens around the school. Networking isn't about how many people you know, it's about how many people know you. Those are wise words. I'm going to turn that around just a little bit, though, for my own purposes. If you want to matter to people, then make sure that people matter to you. And this leads me to my last story. I was in Hong Kong a few months ago while teaching a class, and one evening while in my hotel room working on emails, I received a note from a former student of mine. We'll call him Sam. Now, Sam was, at best, a pretty average student, and I had him in an Introduction to Operations Management class. Sam came into my office after the first big test, and he was distraught. He had completely bombed the test, totally tanked. We had a conversation that most of the faculty here has had with a student at one point or another. Professor Hassler, I'm on scholastic probation, and if I don't get at least a B on this class, I'm going to have to leave college. I partied a little too much during my first year, and my grades really suffered. So if I don't pull this out, my parents are going to be furious. What can I do? Now, I'll admit I only had marginal sympathy for Sam's situation. After all, I wasn't the one who told him to party too much, now was I? But we walked through the upcoming tests and assignments for the rest of the semester, and I showed him what it would take to get his B. We agreed he would come to office hours, speak up in class, ask more questions, do all the homework, basically the same conversation I've had with dozens of other students in similar situations. Ultimately, he did all those things. He worked hard, he got his B, and he graduated. Sam took other classes that I taught, and he did fine. Not stellar, but he had a great attitude, and he worked hard. He's a great guy. So back to Hong Kong. I read Sam's email in which he described his current situation. A girlfriend that he was serious with, a great job that he loved in Dallas at a distribution company, and he said his parents were really proud of his accomplishments. What he noted, though, was that he could point to that one meeting in my office after his bombed midterm as the turning point in his life. Now, until he told me about it, I didn't even remember the meeting. After all, it was a fairly normal discussion with a student about grades. But to him, it was life-changing. As I read that email, I sat in my room and I sobbed like a baby. This is a pretty big deal for me. But as an aside, I have to tell you, my family would share with you that I tear up at a good Hallmark commercial. So, the fact that I cried was not all that unusual. The takeaway that I hope you get from this story is that you never know how what you do or when you do it will have an impact on someone, even a profound impact. I'll argue that it is the sum of all those little things that involve placing others' needs as a priority that will eventually make it a near certainty that you will matter in the big picture. So I want to take a bit of liberty with an old Irish blessing. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face and the rains fall soft upon your fields. And at the end of your days, may you be able to look back upon the glorious residue of a life that mattered. So come back often to visit. Always remember to pack an extra set of clean underwear whenever you travel. Good luck, God bless, and hook 'em.
Thanks, Michael. Today's distinguished commencement speaker is a UT and McCombs School alumnus, Mr. Stephen R. LeBlanc. Mr. LeBlanc is the former Senior Managing Director of Private Markets at the $110 billion Teacher Retirement System of Texas. He oversaw the real estate's private equity and principal investments portfolios at TRS, and his team was responsible for managing the over $45 billion real estate and private equity portfolio exposure of the fund. Between 2008 and 2012, he and his team made 116 investment commitments around the globe, totaling nearly $30 billion in equity, and he led the creation of the $6 billion private market strategy partnership network at TRS. Mr. LeBlanc was also president and CEO of the New York Stock Exchange listed real estate investment trust, Summit Properties, of Charlotte, North Carolina, as well as president of Urban Growth Property Trust of Chicago, Illinois. He has been invited to membership in numerous advisory boards, including the Private Capital Research Institute, the SEC Advisory Committee on Small and Emerging Companies, the Pension Real Estate Association, and the Editorial Advisory Board of the Institutional Real Estate Letter North America. He is a trustee and a governor of the Urban Land Institute and formerly served as chairman of the District Council in Austin. He has served on the Board of Trustees of the Real Estate Roundtable, the Investment Advisory Board of the Employee Retirement System of Texas, and the Penland School of Crafts and Charlotte Latin School. In 2011, Mr. LeBlanc was invited to testify in front of the Congressional Subcommittee on Capital Markets and Government-Sponsored Enterprises concerning the Reopening America Capital Markets to Emerging Growth Companies Act of 2011. He has been on Bloomberg Television's Street Smarts and Money Moves, as well as a guest host on CNBC's Squawk Box. We proudly note that Mr. LeBlanc has a BBA degree in real estate finance from the McCombs School, and he is the Associate Director of our Real Estate and Finance Council. He also teaches classes at McCombs, and he led the creation of the Real Estate Certificate Program for BBA students. Here to address our graduates is Mr. Steve LeBlanc.
Well, thank you, Tom. Good afternoon, everyone. Distinguished members of the faculty, proud parents, and the stars of our show today, our 2012 McCombs School graduates. Thank you for letting me share this special day with you. First, I want to start. I'd like to have all the faculty stand up, please. Without you, we would not be here. How about a big round of applause for our faculty? Thank you. Now, how about all our parents and in the audience guests? Please stand up. Please. Without you, our students wouldn't be here today. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, let me talk to our graduates. You've just spent the last 22 years on the assembly line of life. High school, middle school, preschool, ballet, sports, music lessons, everything. Wow. And the most important thing, you went to the University of Texas and now you've got a degree. But you know, this assembly line wasn't your assembly line. It was someone else's. You were pushed along the whole way by your parents, your friends, your associates. There were many times when you could have quit, when you could have failed, bailed, just stopped, but you didn't. You've been able to achieve this nominal goal, and it's fascinating, it's terrific, and I'm so proud of you. Now, let me tell you, what am I going to do? Who am I? What am I going to speak about? And how long is it going to take? My name's Steve LeBlanc. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my life story, my journey, and give you a few bits of life lessons and advice that I've learned over the years. And I think it shouldn't take more than about 8 or 9 minutes. First, I'm a husband. I've been married for 30 years, and it's the best decision I ever made. My wife, Ellen, is in the front row, and it's such a fascinating and just a terrific situation that I've got in my marriage. It's the best decision. I hope you someday are as lucky as I am. Next, I'm a father. I have a son who's 25 and a daughter who's 21 and a fellow Longhorn. And as Dean Gilligan said, I'm also a graduate of the University of Texas McCombs School. Now, I was amazed that they asked me to give this speech because I assume they did not pull my transcripts. My first job after college was at Farm and Home Savings. My mom was so proud. Her son, the banker. I, on the other hand, hated it. It was so boring. So I did what any recent grad would do in the same situation with no money. I quit. And I went to Europe and became a bartender in a ski resort. Now you can imagine how well that went over it with my mom. Her son, the ski bum. Well, when the snow melted, I came home to Texas, and I got a job working on commission. I was working 60, sometimes 70 hours a week, really being productive. I became the top producer in the company. One day my boss pulled me aside. He said, "Son, you're making too much money." I was like, "What?" "You know, you've put out this system, you set it up, I'm measuring it, let's go." He said, "No, you're making too much money. You're making all the old guys mad. I'm going to have to cut your commission." I thought to myself, well, hold on. This is not what we bargained for. So again, I did what any recent graduate would do. It had very little money. I quit. Now, I didn't give up. I just course corrected. And I learned a lesson. Measure what you want, reward what you measure. He had set up a system that measured me on my productivity, and he should have rewarded me. He didn't, so I quit. So decide what you want. Measure it often, and be sure to reward yourself. I decided in that process I wanted to be an owner. So my next job was a partner at Lincoln Property Company. I was 26 years old, and I was 10 feet tall and bulletproof. Boy, was I wrong. The recession of the late 80s hit, and all of a sudden, I was broke. Every bank in Texas failed, and just about every one of my mentors filed bankruptcy. In fact, I came very close to filing bankruptcy myself. I was devastated, depressed, and scared, but I never gave up. I spent the next 2 years doing workouts with lenders. I learned 2 big lessons there. First, in tough times, go ugly early. Be straightforward, be transparent, be candid. Don't hide the bad news, don't deny the problem, and never, never, never surprise your boss. Tackle the problem with humility and honesty, and you know what? People will end up helping you. I'm proud to say I spent 2 years doing workouts, and I was never sued, never deposed, and it all worked out. The second lesson I learned was that life is like surfing in Maui. You're either riding the wave in or you're in the undertow heading out. If you're on a big wave, you're going to hit the shore. I don't care how bad a surfer you are. But you know what? If you're in the undertow, you ain't surfing. You're just going to have to hang on to your board and wait for the next big wave. The market in life is bigger than all of us. So remember, never confuse a bull market with genius. Ultimately, I became the CEO of a $2 billion multifamily real estate investment trust in Charlotte, North Carolina. We had 500 employees. I was telling Dean Gilligan earlier, someone asked me, how many people work at Summit? I said, I don't know, about half. No, we had a great team. They really, really worked hard. We actually delivered 20% a year to our shareholders, despite the tech crash of 2000 and the terrorist attack of 9/11. I was having a blast. Then a funny thing happened. It was not part of my plan. We got a hostile takeover offer to buy the company. I didn't really want to sell. I was having a fun CEO public company, great team, but I knew I had a fiduciary responsibility to my fellow shareholders. So I ran a small auction, and we got a great price. In 2005, we sold the company to Camden Property Trust out of Houston. In hindsight, we sold early, probably 3 years too early, 3 years ahead of the Great Recession of 2008. But a big lesson I learned is it's much better to be 3 years early than 1 day late. You'll never go broke taking a profit. After we sold the company, Ellen, Aubrey, and I moved back to Austin to take care of our moms. My mom had melanoma. In fact, she had a brain tumor in the summer of 2005 that was removed at MD Anderson. As I mentioned, she's in the audience in the front row. She's doing terrific, and she's been an inspiration to me. I spent the next 3 years teaching real estate at McCombs. What an honor and a humbling experience. I can speak for myself, and I know your parents in the audience. I'm really glad I don't have to compete against you out in the workforce. You're very bright, you're very motivated, and I think it's fantastic. I then turned 50 in 2007. I decided I want to live to 100. And God's given me some gifts, and I ought to go back to work. So I had the honor of joining the Teachers Retirement System of Texas. As Dean Gilligan mentioned, $112 billion. There's some interesting statistics you may not know. It represents 1 million teachers and public school employees that are working and 300,000 that are retired. The average wage is about $42,000 a year, and the average pension check is about $1,900 a month, and they don't get Social Security for the most part, most of them. I was really lucky to be giving back to the people who teach our children, who drive the buses and take them to school, who work in the cafeteria, who are the janitors and the school guard crossings. My team made 116 different investments, just shy of $30 billion over 4 years. What were the results? Well, TRS was the #1 performing pension plan in the country in 2010 and will be in the top 15% in 2011. So I'm very proud of that. Thank you. I've also been really lucky to appear on Squawk Box, on Bloomberg TV, on Fox Business News. I've been in the Wall Street Journal. I've rang the closing bell on Wall Street twice. Well, why do I tell you all that? Only so that you'll have a context and a point of view of where to take the information and the advice I want to give you now. There are 3 things. They are learning, passion, and character. Let's start with learning first. First, I want you to fail forward. Mistakes are great. I've made plenty of mistakes in my business life, in my family life, and certainly on the golf course. Every time I make a mistake, I admit it and try to understand why. Next, I ask for forgiveness. Then I dust myself off, pick myself up, and commit to do better the next time. It's actually good to make mistakes. I know the last 22 years you've been avoiding mistakes like the plague. It's wrong. You need to make mistakes. The only way you learn is by making a mistake. For those of us who make mistakes, how about a round of applause? It's how you learn. You know, if you get something right, either you already know it or you guess. If you guess and get it right, it's much worse. You're going to think you're smarter than you really are. How many times did that happen on those multiple choice tests you took? Life is about learning. Never stop learning. Never stop improving. Be a lifelong learner. Be curious. Listen to learn. Don't listen to respond. Listen to learn. If you listen to people, you'll be amazed at what they say. Find a mentor. Be a mentor. Play it forward. You'll be rewarded. This is especially important as you find your first job. Keep two things in mind. You'll join a company, and if you leave that company, you'll probably leave your supervisor. So make sure the boss you hire when you get your first job is someone you like, someone you trust, someone who has a track record and passion for helping young people succeed and grow. Another saying I like is that less is more. Simple is better. Never use 5 words when 3 will do. Never let perfect get in the way of good. Let me say that again. Never let perfect get in the way of good. Get 75% of the information, 75% of the analysis, 75% of your gut feel, and go. Pursuit of perfection is a fool's errand. Strive first for good, then set your sights on better, then best. Never rest until your good is better and your better is best. Another favorite saying of mine is commit, decide, execute. That sounds backward, doesn't it? Commit, decide, execute. Most people live in the world of decide, 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 and I call it paralysis analysis. They never commit. So commit first, then decide the details, how you'll figure it out, then execute. But keep in mind, a vision without execution is just a hallucination. Now I want to talk about passion. Passion and tenacity come from, or perseverance and tenacity come from passion. They'll beat skill and knowledge every time. Be resilient, be passionate about life. Never, never, never give up. It's always too soon to quit. Let me tell you about a man. He was fired from his first job. He had 2 businesses fail. He lost 3 elections, and he had a nervous breakdown. His name, President Abraham Lincoln. And those experiences prepared him for one of the greatest jobs this country's ever seen done, president during the Civil War. My last bit of advice is about character. This is the key to success. Trust. Capitalism and society are built on trust. People will only work longer, harder, faster, smarter for people they trust and for a cause greater than themselves. Trust starts with trusting yourself. Trust your instinct, trust your gut feel. But keep in mind, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. But you're smarter and wiser than you may think you are, so do trust your instinct. But also, be humble. Realize that we are all God's creations, and we are flawed. We all stand on the slippery slope of evil. One false step, one evil decision can send us hurtling down that slippery slope. What it will take you 10 years to build, your brand, your reputation, can be lost in 10 seconds. So have you decided? Have you decided what you will do when no one is looking? When you're asked to do something that's wrong, that's illegal, unethical? It'll happen. It happened to me. Decide today, this moment, what you'll do. What's your true north? What's your moral compass? Be true to yourself, because the key to happiness is to serve others. You will never be happy if you measure yourself relative to others. Finally, I have one last bit of advice. In business, always remember, every PowerPoint graph should point up and to the right. Thank you, and have a great start to your career.
Thanks, Dean. Dr. David Platt is the McCombs School Associate Dean for Undergraduate Programs and a faculty member in the Department of Accounting. Dean Platt is here to present this year's degree candidates.
Thank you, Dean Gilligan. Good morning, everyone. I know this is the moment that you've been waiting for. It's time to individually recognize the members of the graduating class of the McCombs School of Business for December 2012. Before we do that, Mr. LeBlanc kindly acknowledged several people who've had a very large influence on your path to where you are today. I would like to acknowledge one last group, which is the staff of the Undergraduate Programs Office. Thank you very much. They're one of the best group of people I've had the privilege of working with. They were here when you came on orientation all those years ago, and they're here today to see you off and see you through this ceremony. They're seated back there. So thank you for acknowledging them. It does concern me a little bit, though, that they're the ones who applauded first when Mr. LeBlanc was talking about making mistakes. Many students are wearing one or more cords and medallions. These are indicators of special accomplishment. The burnt orange cords are worn by college scholars, and bronze medallions are worn by distinguished college scholars. These symbols acknowledge academic achievement and reflect both the grade point average earned and the rigor of the coursework undertaken by the students. Students wearing blue and green cords have added a global dimension to their business education by participating in a McCombs BBA study abroad program. Students wearing red and gold cords are graduates of the Business Honors Program, and students wearing pewter medallions are graduates of the McCombs Leadership Program. Finally, please note that the students are seated by major, but they are not required to be in alphabetical order so that they may sit with their friends. Will the degree candidates please stand when directed and proceed to your left onto the stage for recognition? Dean Gilligan will make a presentation to each of you, assisted by BBA Assistant Dean Arthur Allert. After you cross the stage, please return to your seat and remain there until everyone has been recognized and the ceremony has concluded. The ushers will assist you. Now, with the students from accounting, including those studying for the Masters in Professional Accounting, please proceed to the stage one row at a time. Here to recognize these degree candidates is Dr. Stuart Singer, a lecturer in the Department of Accounting.
Isel Uranga. Elizabeth Lucille Risca. Lourdes Maria Ibarra. Christian Francisco Lopez. Clifton James Kaler. Justin James Cofield. Sandy Moritha Teresia. Monica Sheila. Yinju Yini Chen. Vin Win. Crystal Marie Sepulveda. Sarah Brooke Haas. Lisa Sejong Kang. Jordan Alisa Gus. Catherine Dawn Trung. Macy Teal Malacord. Carlos Villanueva. Samir Panjwani. Joshua Ray Sinek. Moib, congratulations. You did well. Moib Nawab. You did well. Austin New. Ryan Macia. Hi, Patrick. Patrick Vincent Zerdada. Alex Greenberg. Benjamin Kwiatkowski. Carly Michelle Alter. Yu Fang. Veronica Bo Gyung Moon. Jared Castriner. Philip Michael Green. Erica Elizabeth Salinas. Alisa Rose Britsky. Okay.
Would the students in the Business Honors Program please proceed to the stage? Dr. Robert Prentice is here today to recognize these degree candidates. Professor Prentice is the director of the Business Honors Program.
Nitash Harani. Ashita Paul. Jasmine Nicole Bell. Stephen Thomas Windorf. Benjamin A. Rogers.
Would the students in the finance department please proceed to the stage? Mr. William Way, a lecturer in the Department of Finance, is here today to recognize these degree candidates.
Angelica Navarro de Paz. Kyle John Olson. Jackson Pennington Featherston. Lisa Shenyue Hu. Amanda Jane Pointer. Kelsey Lee Morris. Alan Chiwei Ting. Eduardo Aramburo Espinosa. Gracia Cardona Moscosa. Brittany Marie Villasana. Greg Michael Bomberg. Andrew Joseph Theodosis. Nicholas Mario DeAngelis. William Lloyd Connolly. Ernest Chavaria III. James Arthur Peters. Michael Chase Price. Audrey Catherine Jones. Michael Andrew Miller. Kyle William Koch. Mark Allen Jones. Ross Walker Weathers. Sun Chai Park. Mali M. Alexander Barry Anderson. John Cody Evans. Lazan Deng. Maria Elena Saldivar. Wei-Ting Chen. Paulina Sofia Martinez. James Richard Haker. Syed Faisal Hassan. Taylor Ryan Gaspard. Anhai Van Dang. Stephen Wong. Lillian Shireen Niakan. Judy Bianca Folds. John Andrew Barkowski. William Lewis Thompson. Sean William Willoughby. Adam Jamal Edwards. Russell Solomon Gelman. Fernando Adrian Malo. Gira Chantravadan Patel. Jeff Lee. Bullet Cole Osborne. Kyle William Shanehair. Riaz Ahmed Momin. Thurzaduk Ruknadine McNoya. Anish Karamali Momin. Ashkan Shan Haji Sheikh. Corey David Goman.
Would the management majors please proceed to the stage? Dr. Christy Loescher, a senior lecturer in the Department of Management, is here today to recognize these degree candidates.
Manuel Morales Ancira. Crystal Brayley. Brian Joseph Zimmer. Omar Kareem Hariri. Chelsea Danae Young. Barbara Santos Garcia. Taylor Joe Whitlow. James Winslow Kelly. Sun Tae Kim.
Would the Management Information Systems majors please proceed to the stage? Mr. Clint Tuttle, a lecturer in the Department of Information Risk and Operations Management, is present to recognize these degree candidates.
Teresa Margarite Sturdivant. Sorry. Marusuwan, Fern Marusaran. Caitlin Tace Barker. Lina Jose Saravia. Taylor Danielle Cook. Tina Mary Torabi. Ashnor Mansour Unli. Jacob Joseph Gleason. Ilyana Cantu. Justin Tobin Chang. Nathaniel Lewis Tolman. Jacqueline Cayenne Yu. David Shem. Doc Kim. Miles Liscombe.
With the majors in supply chain management and engineering route to business, please proceed to the stage. Today's distinguished faculty speaker, Dr. Michael Hassler, will recognize these degree candidates.
Margot Vittel. Darsh Duntish Mehta. Andrea Elaine Malloy. Joseph Patrick Madro. Garrett Clark Hopper. Jacob Robert Palomo. Tang Mai. Ashley Rebecca Chang. Hayden August Munsell. Catherine Santina Riefenstahl. Michael Daryl Salinas.
Would the marketing and international business majors please proceed to the stage? Dr. Linda Gerber, a senior lecturer in the marketing department, is here today to recognize these degree candidates.
Sarai Virial. Dannery Rueda. Gabriela Cervera Hernandez. Alexandra Nicole Brace. Deanna G.A. Shim. Juan Carlos Cordillo. Melissa Ann Frost. Hunter Sutherland Wilcox. Catherine Jane Blair. Stephanie Michelle Donna. Mallory Paige Wofford. Michelle Elise Coleman. Anna Caitlin Cockrum. Kimberly B. Cromack. Brooke Diamond Rogers. Un Young Kim. Karen Elizabeth Clariga. Diana Ann Pham. Yao Win. Irene Kim. Raymond Thomas Stewart. William Munoz. Bamnat Mulega Abera. Dorothy Doan. Jasmine Ariana Perez. Dayton Christopher Dodge. Ko-un Choi. Henry Hua Zhao.
It's customary at this time to break out in uncontrollable shouts of joy and celebration if you want to do that. Well, congratulations, graduates. We're all very proud of you. I would like to give the graduates a chance to do something that Mr. LeBlanc did earlier, and that is stand up and recognize your parents and loved ones who helped you get through this program. Thank you very much. Again, thank you, parents, for all you've done to make their journey successful. I'd like to give you a hint on how you stay connected with McCombs after you graduate. Here to tell you about our McCombs Alumni Network is Mr. Andrew Vo, a 1995 McCombs BBA graduate and a member of the BBA MPA Alumni Advisory Board. Andrew?
Thank you, Dean Gilligan. Good morning and congratulations, class of 2012. As graduates of the University of Texas and the McCombs School of Business, you have now joined one of the largest and most powerful alumni networks in the world. To thank you for your contributions to McCombs and to also help you stay connected to your alma mater, Dean Gilligan is graciously awarding each of you a one-year membership in the Texas Access Alumni Association. How's that sound? On behalf of Dean Gilligan, the McCombs School of Business, and our proud alumni base, I hope that you'll enjoy your membership over the next 12 months and also find ways to get actively involved with the Texas Access chapter in your local community. In addition, I invite you to become involved in the McCombs Alumni Network, which connects more than 85,000 alumni globally, enhances the McCombs student experience through interactions with Longhorn leaders, and also promotes lifelong learning opportunities. So now that you've earned your McCombs degree and are ready to take on the world with confidence, I would also ask that you take a brief moment to truly reflect on the one individual who has had the most profound impact on your McCombs experience. Whether this person is a parent, relative, family friend, faculty member, or even a fellow student, He or she found ways to inspire, motivate, and support you over the past few years. So please take the time to thank those who have influenced and guided you. And actually, I'd like to take time to thank Herb Miller, who I just was reunited with backstage. Professor Miller was my Marketing 363 professor back in 1994, and was really one of the most inspiring professors I've ever had in my life. So I know I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for you, Professor Miller, and I just want to thank you for that. In return, I encourage you as official graduates to be strong stewards of this university by paying it forward so that you can also have a direct impact on the personal and professional growth of future Longhorn graduates. As a 1995 McCombs alumnus, I can firmly state that giving back to this prestigious university, as well as the McCombs School of Business, will be one of the most rewarding gifts you will ever experience. Once again, congratulations, good luck, welcome to the McCombs Alumni Network, and hook 'em horns.
Now just a few logistical matters before we end today's ceremony. This is the part that I really enjoy, and that's informing you that your diplomas will be in the mail shortly. They're not in your packets. That was a bit of a facade, but we'll get those to you. We'll get those to you in January. To close our ceremony, it's a tradition that we join our new graduates in singing The Eyes of Texas. After we sing, please remain standing while the faculty processes out. Dr. Lillian Mills will lead us in the singing of The Eyes of Texas. Dr. Mills is the Wilton E. and Catherine A. Thomas Professor in Accounting and Chair of the Department of Accounting. Please stand as she leads us in singing The Eyes of Texas.
The eyes of Texas are upon you all the livelong day. The eyes of Texas are upon you. You cannot get away. Do not think you can escape them at night or early in the morn. The eyes of Texas are upon